So my first question is about after the war, we have the kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And why you wanted to join a franchise in this way?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I asked myself the same thing when I was asked about this movie. I'm a big fan of the previous movies. I think they were fantastic. They were beginning, middle, end. They had a perfect closure to it. So why do another one, you know? But when we had this idea of how we could approach this, getting some distance from that story and thinking of this as kind of a new beginning as we witness apes kind of, if the previous movies were apes in their stone age, we're witnessing them entering into their bronze age, where they're developing cultures, they're creating the civilization that we know comes to exist from this Charlton Heston 68 version. And so that just felt like a really kind of interesting thing to explore, from the characters that could exist there and the stories that exist in there. So that's where we started, that's we thought it would be a worthy addition to what is now 10 films and this franchise that's been running for 55 years, So hopefully we've done it for audiences and they'll enjoy going back to the Planet of Apes here.
About this, what do you think about the role of Caesar in the entire saga?
Yeah, so obviously Caesar is this beloved character in the previous trilogy. He's one of the great protagonists in movie history, I think. And he represents a lot of really positive traits. I mean, I think a lot of people see the best version of themselves in him. What they aspire to be. And so we didn't want to lose that character. And even though we take place many centuries after his fall, he's still very much a character in the movie. And we get to explore kind of what's happened to his legacy. How does it shape people? How is his legacy and story used? People have different interpretations of what his life meant and what it represented. And Noah is really the character who's going to discover who he was and what he means to himself. So he really serves as this kind of spiritual kind of umbrella over the whole movie, along with Andy Serkis himself, even kind of helping us on the movie, making sure that we were getting it right, that we were kind of feeling that we belonged in that kind of same kind of spectrum of the world that they created.
Yes. And my last question is about the original saga. Is that a movie that you consider that you consider particularly yours?
You mean the 68 version?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up watching that 68 movie, so it's very important to me. Those images are like ingrained in my mind, and so I thought we had a unique opportunity here where we could be a sequel to in a way, a sequel to the trilogy of the Caesar trilogy, but we're also a prequel to the 68 Charlton Heston movie. So we have in our sights that reality that we're building towards. There's things all over the movie that you see that are kind of homages or setups to things that look very familiar to that 68 audience. You know what I mean? So we tried really hard to kind of exist in both worlds there. And yeah, it's fun to be a part of that universe, to have a small role in creating that, playing in that sandbox,
Thank you so much, Wes.
All right, cheers.
Thank
Thanks very much.